featured. Share your story on our social media platforms. Welcome to the Ladies Enrichment Club talk show, where we support women all over the world to grow their businesses and their personal growth as well. Today we have a special guest on our show. She's an author of a children's book. Hi there.
Good morning, everybody. How are you, Zelda?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks. Hi, my name is Hilda, and I wrote a little children's book, as Zelda so correctly said, Snowy and Zoey in a New World. I'm a UAE resident, but I'm originally Lebanese and grew up in Greece. I'm a bit of a combo platter. I'm a mother to two beautiful kids, and it's been a lot of fun writing my book and promoting it.
It's amazing, amazing. I am looking forward to get that book, Hilda, from you.
So that I'll put it on. Just send me your address after this.
I want to let people know about your book, and I know you are so super proud of this book. I've seen your post also on Instagram. That's amazing. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hilda, we want to know, why did you choose to write a children's book?
There's two things. For one, this is a fulfillment of a dream. I've always been a writer at heart. When I was young, I used to enter writing competitions, and I had a blog before this. So I've always wanted to write, but then, life takes over and you go in a different direction and it kind of gets shelved. I've had my kids 8 years apart, so mothering took a big part of my life. So I've always wanted to write, let's put it that way. The second thing was during the pandemic, when we were in lockdown and it was all new and we didn't know what was happening, there was a lot of anxiety in our household. I have a 10-year-old and she didn't, she was very unhappy. She's not going to school, not seeing her friends, activities stopped, all that. And so I had an epiphany one day. Snowy is actually our dog. And we were sitting outside. We live off a lake. And Snowy and I were sitting in total silence, which is never the case around a lake. There's always kids and bicycles and noise. And suddenly we look up and there's all these birds and ducks and, all this wildlife that we hadn't seen before around our lake, because it was so quiet and peaceful. I think it help them to feel more comfortable in their habitat. And so that's where the idea came from of, how did Corona change the world for the animals? And even though the pandemic is a very negative thing, it's sad, it's hard, but I also felt that, we should maybe look at the positives of something like that. And that's why I wrote the children's book.
What a beautiful story. I mean, like I said, I haven't read your book yet, but what you've just explained, we also noticed that where we live in our community, we also have these lakes between the houses, and it's true what you say.
Right?
Yes, we have seen so many ducks in our lakes, and it was strange because over the news, people would say, oh, spotted, like kangaroos spotted here in unusual places.
Yes.
Yeah. And it is very true. And I'm looking forward to read your book and to share it with the people out there as well. So you already told us about your inspiration behind the book. Hilda, we would like to know, you have just published this book and it's that was your short-term goal, I would say.
Right.
What is your long-term goal? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do next?
I mean, when I wrote this book, all I wanted to do was actually send my work out into the universe. You, of all people, Zelda, know about the creative process, and that anything creative is sort of like putting part of yourself out there to be judged, right? You don't know how people are going. You might think you've done an amazing job with something, but you don't know what you've actually done until people give you feedback or react to it. And so I said in my mind, I've been writing for years. I have notebooks full of ideas and thoughts. I had the blog. I'm just going to write this. It was very, my favorite English word is serendipity. And it was serendipitous because my illustrator was able to be available. She's a college student, and yet in lockdown, she was very bored. So she did the, pictures very quickly. I found somebody to edit it. I self-published. So it was like just the process worked very quickly for me from April in lockdown. The book was published in October of 2020. So it was a very quick process. And so I thought if my family and friends bought the book and enjoyed it, that would be enough for me. And then the book just exploded. In the first 48 hours, it became a number one bestseller on Amazon. There was a lot of interest in it. I was on the radio. I got featured by the World Wildlife Fund in the Emirates. I got a 5-star review from someone I don't know. It's not like a paid review. So it just like sort of mushroomed into something bigger than what I had expected. So now, having said that, I felt, okay, so maybe I still have stories in me. So I've already nearly finished the second book, the writing part, not the whole thing. I'm taking my time more. The first one, I just wrote it and sent it out. This one, I'm thinking a little bit more about it. So the last sentence is still up here somewhere. So I don't know. Will this become something that I would do from now on for a career? I'm not sure. Do I have another story in me? Yes, and I think it's worth telling. And Snowy and Zoey will remain as the main characters, but the feature is more on Zoey in this book. So let's see, this is my future plan, is the second book, and then I'll see where that takes me.
Lovely. So it's almost like a sequence, right? Do you follow up?
Yeah, it is. It's they're very much love the characters, the kids love, because a lot of times I introduce the real Snowy after my virtual calls.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And on my Instagram page, Snowy is very well featured. And so she has become a much loved character. And the kids like the fact that it's a dog and a butterfly. They find that, very cute, that they're best friends. And so I think that, I will keep, will it become a series? I don't know. But this second book, I feel that they can tell it themselves. And because I have all the creative, independence, I can make them do whatever I like. And so I just felt that, I had an idea right after I wrote this book for this other book. And I thought, let me try and, give it a shot.
What would you say, Hilda, what was the positives and the negatives for writing this book?
Well, the positives is obviously the story itself. I mean, the fact that Snowy inspired me and she's our dog, the fact that it's about the environment. And so it features, how the world changed because we humans are not abusing the environment anymore. We were in lockdown. So I felt there's a message, and a cute message for the kids. So the process was really fun to write the book. I got the idea and I wrote it practically, in a couple of days. I sent it to the illustrator. We had to rewrite it because she felt there's not enough characters for her to draw, which would make it a bit boring for the kids. So I rewrote it with more characters and so on. So that part was fun, the creative process. And the positives was finding, the illustrator, the editor, all that was much quicker than I expected. And I knew I wanted to self-publish because initially I sent the book out to a few traditional publishers and they said it takes them 6 to 8 months to get back to you. So I knew with Corona being my main subject, it might be obsolete in 6 to 8 months with the whole process of actually it could take over 18 months to get it out there. And so I knew I wasn't going to go down that path. So those were the positives. The negative is nobody ever tells you that books actually don't make money. And that there's millions of books on Amazon. I mean, everybody's like, oh, you're on Amazon. I'm everywhere. I'm in South Africa. I'm in Brazil. I'm in Taiwan. Not only on Amazon, but other, websites that sell books. So I was in Sweden, Finland. My friends have found me everywhere around the world. There's countries that I'm not quite sure where I am because I don't read, I don't speak the language, but I know I'm in Brazil, India. I mean, so many places. So it's fantastic that my book is in all these portals. There's a million other books. How are they ever going to find you? You're just a book, And so with a traditional publisher, they have agents and marketers and advertisers and all that, and a huge budget, which obviously I did not have. So the negative was that it's a lot of knocking on doors for you as an author to get your book out there. And it's definitely not a money-making venture. You're doing it for the love of creativity and for the love of writing, which I've always had. So I would say those were the negatives.
It's so true, because as an artist, when I'm doing a painting, there's so many artists out there. And these days, people don't really have money to buy art, to be honest.
Exactly. It's a disposable income, right? I mean, and people don't have that.
Yeah, so you absolutely just do it for the love of it, because you live from it. If somebody takes away my paint and my brushes and my photography stuff, I think I'll go crazy. Honestly, I think I'll go crazy. But there is a satisfaction when you've done something, even how small it is. You feel good. You have that.
I agree.
Endorphin.
And that's why you're doing it, right? That's why
Yes,
you're doing it. So
right.
it's definitely not, unless you're like a best-selling multi-book author and so on, it's just not. So if people are going in thinking that it's a good business to be in, it's very difficult to get your book in, to get a distributor, to get a traditional bookstore to get it. I mean, I was very lucky and blessed that way, because my book was the #1 bestseller. The distributor actually got in touch with me, and that's how I was able to get my book into bookstores. But a lot of local authors got in touch with me asking me how I managed to do that, because they've been trying for years, and they can get it online, but they couldn't get it into a regular store, a physical store. So yeah, it's hard work.
It's hard work. It's hard work, and I totally agree with you on many points that you have touched. I want to give you the opportunity to give some advice to women out there that wants to reach a goal but are not sure how, just in 1 or 2 minutes.
I mean, when I first wrote the book, I was chatting with a friend of mine who's into stationery and bookstores and things, and his first answer to me was, "You just published the book just like that? You didn't look at what the market needs or what the requirements are?" And I said, no. I said, I wrote it. I got feedback, of course, from my family and friends, to the premise of the story and the idea. And then I just said, I'm going to do it, And so this is my advice to anyone that wants to get something done. If you self-doubt, or if you keep questioning yourself, or if you keep going back and messing about with the work that you're doing, it will eventually probably, you'll lose your motivation to get it out there. You will start doubting what you're doing. You'll lose confidence. So just do it. I mean, whatever it is, you want to write a book, write more, send it out into the universe. There's so many ways now that you could send your work out there, from social media to blogging to writing an article for an online magazine, anything. Just give yourself the right to actually believe in yourself and go out there and do it. Because you might write great stuff, but if nobody reads it, how will we know, that it's great? So that's my advice.
Thank you, Hilda. I totally agree with you. If you want to learn something, you need to take the first step. You need to
Exactly.
go for it, and you need to make. I was trying also to teach somebody one of the skills I know, and there was a language barrier because of her language and my language. So she actually reached out to me and says, sorry, Zelda, I need to understand English better. So, there can be like a little obstacle sometimes before you reach your goal, but it's worth it. And now I would like to ask you your social media accounts. How can we get in contact with you?
Okay, my book social media account is Snowy_and_Zoey. And so that would probably be the easiest way to get in touch with me, is through that account. I'm also on Facebook as Snowy and Zoey. And so those are the two easiest probably methods to get in touch. And I'm very happy when I actually get messages from people talking about the book. So please stay in touch.
That's amazing. Hilda, also your book is available on Amazon, like you said. So
it's on Amazon worldwide. It's on Barnes and Noble in the US. It's Walmart. It's on any, if you I don't know where people live, but if you go on your, I don't know, whatever well-known online bookstore is, wherever you are, it's probably on there. It's very easy. If you Google Snowy and Zoey in a New World, you get a whole list. It's on eBay. It's on many different platforms. So it's easily accessible.
Great. So we will have a giveaway with Hilda. She will be giving away one of her. Can you hold the book up so that everybody can see?
Sure.
Great. So she's going to do a product review, or us. We will still talk about that, and then the winner will get your lovely children's book. Thank you, Hilda, so much for your time, and it was lovely to hear your story, to hear your advice, and to have you on the Ladies Enrichment Club, where we support women worldwide.
Thank you so much, Zelda. Have a great day, everyone.